So thank you, Dr. Praveen, and thank you for all the speakers. I really appreciate the efforts taken by STEM to organize such a marvelous international, online meeting. So what I'm going to talk today is how to extract nanomaterials from agricultural waste. Our former speaker talked about municipal waste. But what I'm going to show you is we are going to collect specifically agricultural waste. After plantation, we go to the plantation and collect the waste from the agriculture. So this doesn't have any plastics or other additive. We directly go to the agriculture site and collect this waste and transform into value-added products. That is the essence of my talk. If you look at my first slide, you can see that 1.6 billion tons of agro waste is accumulated every year around the globe. Agro waste, I mean all sorts of waste arising from the agricultural land. It could be paddy field, it could be wheat, it could be sugarcane, or it could be banana, it could be pineapple, it could be a variety of agricultural waste. You will also see in my talk, we will also focus on waste from the fish industry. India generates a lot of waste from the fish industry. So I will also talk to you how this could be converted into value-added products. I will first focus on agro waste. If you look at the agro waste, we have got a lot of sugarcane bagasse. All the sugar industry produce a lot of bagasse as waste. Wheat bran and rice bran, corn cob, wood flour, wheat and rice straw, jute, coir, pineapple, hemp, banana, bamboo. If you come to Kerala, you can see we have lots of pineapple waste. If you go to a pineapple farm, after taking the fruit, we have enormous waste of pineapple leaf. If you go to a banana plantation, after getting the banana fruit, you have lots of waste. So how to utilize these waste into functional nanomaterials? Similarly, if you go to fish industry, you have lots of crab shells, prawn shells. Also, if you go to other agricultural field, we have lots of waste, starch waste. It could be potato, it could be cassava, or it could be any sort of starchy materials. Let me show you the worldwide production of different types of agro waste. If you look at wood, wood is the number one, 1750,000 into 10 raised to 3 tons. Quite a lot. This is number one. And we have bamboo, we have cotton lint, we have jute, we have kenaf, we have a variety of agricultural waste. If you look at these agro waste, they are environmentally benign, environmentally friendly materials. We produce a lot, so its cost effectiveness, it's agriculture based. If you don't utilize them, it will become a waste at the end. Abundantly available countries like India, China, Brazil, we have lots of this material, Bangladesh, Pakistan, and non-abrasive to machineries. That's a good point of this plant fiber. They are flexible materials. Excellent material for acoustic and thermal applications as insulators. High specific properties because the density is low. Specific strength, specific modulus are really excellent. They are sustainable because every year we cultivate, we produce waste. Again, we cultivate, we produce waste. So this is sustainable. In many countries, these are underutilized. And this is a very important for the societal applications. If you look at the different types of agro waste, we have bast fibers, which we get from flax, kenaf, or hemp or jute. Leaf waste, especially sisal or pineapple leaf. penguin. Uh, Waste from the seed, it could be cotton or coir, grass fiber, bamboo fiber, and I've shown some of the pictures. This is banana. The whole stem could be utilized after uh, after the harvesting season. Look at the oil palm. A lot of waste. If you go to Malaysia, there are a lot of waste. Kerala produces a lot of waste of pineapple and banana. Coir. Kerala is a land of coconut trees. The meaning of Kerala means land of coconut trees. We have lots and lots of coir fiber as a raw material for a large number of applications. Let us see how about the price of this material on a commercial scale. If you look at if you put this price of cotton as 100 as a standard, because cotton is the best material, you see the price goes down, and wood, straw, coir, they're all relatively inexpensive. This slide shows the mechanical properties of this material. You will find all these fibers, abaca, bagasse, bamboo, flax, they all show pretty good mechanics. If you divide the properties by density, we get the specific properties. They are better than glass. Glass is a competitor for natural fibers. Now let me show you what are the components of this lignocellulosic material. The major part is cellulose. This is a structure of cellulose. You have beautiful hydroxyl groups. This is a structure of hemicellulose, and this is a structure of lignin. So what we are trying to do is we want to extract cellulose principally from this agricultural waste. If you look at the hierarchical structure of these agro waste, you see the cell wall. If you examine the cell wall, if you go down, you have fibrils, microfibrils, and then you have fibrils, microfibrils, and if you go down, you have nanostructures. Look at these are all nanofibers, bundles of nanofibers. So in this lecture, what I'm going to focus is to extract these beautiful nanoscopic fibers from agricultural waste and use them for a multitude of applications. If you do that, you get beautiful nanocellulose. And nanocellulose has eventually became a very important material for a large number of applications. So I call it as a strategic platform for sustainable development. Why nanocellulose is also important? Because of high water holding capacity. It is highly crystalline, good mechanics, good specific properties. So lots and lots of positive attributes for nanocellulose. There are a variety of techniques by which you can extract nanocellulose. One is high pressure homogenization. Second technique is grinding, super grinding, cryo crushing, acid hydrolysis, steam explosion process, high intensity ultrasonication process. So a variety of techniques will be adopted for the extraction of nanocellulose from wood waste. I just briefly explain what are these techniques. High pressure homogenization, what we do is we pass a slurry, cellulose slurry, at high pressure into a vessel through a very small nozzle. When you do that, the material is subjected to a very high impact shear forces. As a result of this, you can get nanocellulose. The second process is super grinding. In super grinding, there is static and rotating grindstone, and then by the shear forces, the macrocellulose could be transformed into nanocellulose. You can see some of the nice pictures of super ground agro waste. Next is cryo crushing. You decrease the temperature You go to sub-zero temperature by cooling in liquid nitrogen, and then you apply high impact forces. As a result of this, you can transform the microfibers into nanoscience. This is cryo crushing. You can see the transmission electron microscopy of soy hulls nanofibers made by cryo crushing process, thanks to Zain and group. The next method is high intensity ultrasonication process. Here also we call HIUS. It's a mechanical process in which oscillating power is used to isolate cellulose fibers, basically by hydrodynamic forces of ultrasound. The next technique is steam explosion process. My research group in Mahatma Gandhi University in India, we make use of steam explosion process. That means you subject the agro waste under high pressure and temperature, 137 pascals, the temperature of around 100 to 150 degrees Celsius. So what we do is we make use of a chamber, and the chamber is subjected to a very high pressure and temperature. And then after this, we suddenly release the pressure. So we subject the whole stuff into an explosion process. When you do the explosion process, you open up the whole structure, and then you can remove nanocellulose. And liquid and heavy cellulose could be hydrolyzed and washed away by this process. I can show you a sort of schematic. This is our agro waste collected from the agricultural farm. It could be pineapple powder, or it could be banana, or it could be coir, or it could be any sort of jute, whatever be it. Then what we do is we go for an alkali treatment. We take out liquid and hemicellulose. We have a slurry. We go for acid hydrolysis coupled to the steam explosion process. We go for a homogenization. And finally, we get beautiful nanocellulose starting from this agro waste. You can see the electron microscopy picture of nanocellulose. I wanted to show you some nice work of Zhu and group. If you use a light acid for hydrolysis, acid hydrolysis, steam explosion process, you can get long nanofibers. Look at these long nanofibers. If you use a strong acid, you can kill all these amorphous. These are amorphous. This is crystalline. So in nanocellulose, you can look at amorphous and crystalline part coexist. And if you can kill all the amorphous part using very strong acid, you get small nanocrystals. Look at these are all short nanocrystals. So you have the possibility to make either long nanofibers. The length could be several microns, or it could be short nanocrystals like this. The length could be 100 nanometer or 200 nanometer. Of course, the diameter depends on the nature of your starting material. It could be a range of 1 to 50 nanometer. Look at the summary of the process. You collect the agro waste. You go for a mechanical treatment, chemical treatment, mechanical treatment, acid hydrolysis, dialysis to remove the acid, homogenization, and finally you get, if you use a strong acid, you get viscose, very short nanofibers. And the beauty of this material is, look at the Young's modulus of this material, 130 gigapascals. And strength is 10 gigapascals. It's an exciting nanomaterial. I would say one of the most interesting nanomaterials as compared to carbon nanotube or compared to graphene. It's a very interesting material, low cost, regular shape, high aspect ratio, crystalline. There are lots and lots of positive points for nanocellulose. I wanted to show you some nice work of another gentleman from Europe. What he did is he extracted nanocellulose from wood. Look at this is the wood waste. Went for acid hydrolysis using 64 weight % of sulfuric acid at 45 degrees Celsius. And this group made beautiful nanocrystals, short nanocrystals. I will show you our technique at the university. We have a steam explosion unit, and we can subject different types of, we can put different types of raw material into this chamber. We go for a bleaching. I will show you the totality of the process. Look at the agro waste we get from the agriculture farm. This is actually raw banana fiber. We subject them into a steam explosion unit under high pressure and temperature. Then we go for a bleaching process. We go on acid hydrolysis. Sometimes we repeat the process if we don't reach the required size. Look at, sometimes we repeat it 3-4 times. And finally, we go for a, centrifugation process, and we get crushing, and finally we get nanofibers. Let me show you the dynamics of the enrichment process. If you look at the raw fiber that we get from the agricultural wasteland, if you look at the banana fiber, the amount of cellulose is 64%. The waste we get from the agricultural land. Hemicellulose is 18.6%, and lignin is 4.9%. And if you do different types of processes, steam explosion, acid hydrolysis, bleaching, you see the enrichment process, we can get up to 95% of nanocellulose. And you can remove lignin and hemicellulose. So you have pretty good, exciting material. Almost 95-96% of nanocellulose and small amount of lignin and hemicellulose. I will show you some nice diaphragm pictures of nanomaterials we have made from banana waste, the stalk of banana. The stalk of banana has been subjected to acid hydrolysis. And look at, we have made something like 100, 200 nanometer length nanocrystals. And the diameter is in the range of maybe 50 nanometer, 35 nanometer, 27 nanometers. We have a distribution of sizes, distribution of length and distribution of diameter. I had a strong cooperation with a Swedish group. You can see we collected the waste wood flour, and then we transformed them into beautiful nanofibers. So this is Indo-India-Swedish cooperation. I had a very effective cooperation with Brazil. One of my PhD students actually made nanofibers from pineapple, long nanofibers. We made use of a light acid. You can see long nanofibers we have made. And then we are exciting work with Brazilian group. Now I want to show you, you can do lots of chemistries on this material, because this is an excellent, base material for a large number of applications. Let me show you what sort of chemistries we can do. Look at, this is the structure of cellulose, nanocellulose. You can do polymer grafting. Any sort of polymers could be grafted onto this. You can make use of these hydroxyl groups. You can go for cellulation process. You can make it hydrophobic. You can go for a carbonization process. You can go for tempo oxidation process. You see OH is converted into COONA. You can go for esterification process. So large number of chemical modifications are possible. That is the beauty of this material. So you can put any sort of functionalities leading to the manufacture of functional materials from waste cellulose. I will show you some of the applications. We have utilized these materials, these nanocellulose extracted from waste for water purification. We have made wound healing materials, the waste that we have transformed into beautiful wound healing material. We have made EMI shielding material. We have made sensors. I will show you typical examples what we have done. A student of mine, Sabu, right now in France, what he did is he made nanocellulose from banana stalk in my laboratory, and then he made beautiful filters. Look at the construction of this filter. Our filter has actually a tri-layer construction. The bottommost layer is non-woven microfiber support. It could be PET. The top one is basically made of, most of the time it is PVDF. And the top one is nothing but the nanocellulose. This is a construction we have made. And if you look at the middle layer is mostly electrospun PVDF. And the bottommost layer is non-woven microfibers. It could be PET, it could be PAN, or such material. So I will show you what we have done. We try to remove some of the dyes from contaminated water. See, water is increasingly polluted these days. So basically, we try to remove crystal violet dye. This is a very important problem in India. Many water bodies are polluted by crystal violet. So Deepu and I, we made use of a commercial filter. I will show you what we have done. We bought commercial filter, which is made of PET, PVDF combination. And the top of this filter, we modified with nanocellulose. Before that, we made a small chemistry. This is nanocellulose. I've shown one of the hydroxyl groups. We modified this with meltram acid. We used a clean chemistry route, and we could introduce COO minus group on the nanocellulose surface. And when you do such chemistry, you know, there is beautiful separation process. Look at, this is a commercial filter that you get from the market. When you use a commercial filter, if you want to remove the dye,
I'm going to stop right now.
The total process is something like this.
Yeah, you and
if you spray the filter with nanocellulose dispersion, look at the efficiency has been increased. And if you spray with chemically modified nanocellulose with COO minus group, look at the efficiency separation has been increased dramatically. So we have shown that nanocellulose extracted from waste can have very, very effective, can do very, very effective step for removal of dyes. And you might ask why this chemically modified stuff is doing extremely well. I have an answer for this. Look at, this is the commercial filter coated with nanocellulose, the top, which is shown is a violet color. This is after separation. You can see all the dye molecules have been retained by this filter. This is PVDF. And when you do a chemical modification of nanocellulose, you are introducing COO minus group. And this COO minus group can interact with the crystal violet dye by electrostatic interaction. Therefore, we could catch all these dyes very effectively. That is why, look at the separation efficiency. The chemically modified nanocellulose was very efficient. Look at, this is the impure water, this is the pure water. I wanted to show you some interesting work reported from other laboratories, Professor Mann group. What they did is, they also tried to remove crystal violet dye using a commercial filter. This is a commercial filter. And this is nanocellulose modified filter. Look at the separation efficiency. There's dramatic change. Look at the impure water and pure water. Deepu and I in my university, we also try to remove suspended particles based on cellulose extracted from agricultural waste. Look at, this is our filter. The filter has been modified with nanocellulose. And we could remove suspended particles. You know, the water has a lot of particles. It could be nanoparticles, microparticles. So what we try to do is, we try to remove iron oxide particles from water in the range of 50 to 100 nanometer. I can show you our separation efficiency. Look at our filter modified with nanocellulose. See, the top of the filter is full of nanoparticles, suspended particles. So all the suspended particles could be separated This is basically by a size exclusion principle because the post structure was so small after coating the nanocellulose, and this could retain all the suspended particles. Look at the bottom part of the filter. This is made of PVDF. Look at the feed solution, impure water. This is a pure water. And the impure water, there is no transmission because these suspended particles scatter the light. And after filtration process, look at, you get very pure water. I also wanted to show you some nice work of Korhonen group in Finland. What they did is, they made aerogels out of nanocellulose made from waste. Look at the aerogels made by Korhonen group. Look at this aerogel. And they made aerogel, and this aerogel has been chemically modified to make it hydrophobic. Essentially, if you look at cellulose aerogel, they're hydrophilic because cellulose is hydrophilic. What they did is, they made a titanium dioxide treatment on the surface of aerogel. As a result of this, aerogel became hydrophobic. And this hydrophobic aerogel is able to remove oil from water, contaminated water. The water is contaminated by oil. If you go to, seawater, examine seawater, there's a lot of spillage. And you can use this chemically modified nanocellulose to remove oil from contaminated water. Look at this. This is actually aerogel. Aerogel takes away all the oil because it's hydrophobic. This is water molecule. Water cannot penetrate because water is hydrophilic. And then you can remove the oil by different ways. You can squeeze out all the oil out and you can reuse it. Or you can burn the oil. So this chemically modified aerogel is an efficient material for removal of oil from seawater. Look at the chemical modification of nanocellulose by titanium coating. If you give a TiO2 coating on nanocellulose surface, the surface becomes extremely hydrophobic. And this is extremely light and highly porous. Let me show you another slide where you can make use of nanocellulose made from waste for the removal of heavy metals like chromium. You see, for that, what you have to do is you have to do some chemistry on the nanocellulose surface. You treat nanocellulose with polyvinylamine, so then you can put amino group on the surface of nanocellulose. You have a lot of positive charge on the surface of nanocellulose. Therefore, chromium minus could be trapped by this nanocellulose by electrostatic interaction. Look at equilibrium absorption of chromium by nanocellulose filters. So this chromium could be removed. Similarly, you can remove nickel, cadmium, lead. If you use raw fibers, rice straw fiber, you can see removal of nickel. See, this is, we are comparing three systems: rice straw fiber, cellulose fiber, and nanocellulose fiber. Look at removal of nickel is very efficient when you go to nanoscale. Removal of cadmium becomes very efficient when you go to nanoscale. So this is raw straw fiber, this is the microcellulose, and this is nanocellulose. Look at lead. The removal efficiency is very high when you go to nanoscale. So my summary is, if you use nanocellulose, you can trap many of the heavy metals. We can also remove bacteria and viruses. See, now we are facing a pandemic of coronavirus. Nanocellulose could be utilized. Chemically modified nanocellulose could be utilized to remove viruses. Bacteria are bigger in size, so this could be removed by size exclusion principle. Because these pores are so small, the filter can remove bacteria. If you want to remove virus, then you have to do a chemical treatment. The best chemical treatment is for virus removal is you modify the nanocellulose and put amino group. See, look at this filter. The bottom side is made of PVDF and the top one is coated with nanocellulose. If you modify with polyvinylamine, then you can put positive charge on the surface of nanocellulose, and it can trap all the viruses, because viruses have a lipid coating which is negatively charged. If your nanocellulose is made positive, surface is made positive, all the viruses could be caught by electrostatic interactions. Bacteria is bigger in size, so you can remove by size exclusion principle. Nanocellulose is a very good platform for scaffolding. Look at a gentleman suffering from high degree of burning. His face is completely covered with nanocellulose. And tissue growth is so rapid. Look at this, is a porous structure of nanocellulose. So it could be an excellent scaffold for burns. I also wanted to show you something very interesting. We had a cooperation with Brazil where we made polyurethane cellulose nanocomposite. My Brazilian counterpart made, biocompatible polyurethane. If you look at the strength of this material is 17.5 megapascal, the modulus is 37.5. If you put 5% of nanocellulose, the strength becomes 52.6. And the modulus, you can see a quantum jump, 992.4. So what my Brazilian colleague did is, with the support of hospital, we made nanocellulose polyurethane prosthetic heart valve. Look at nanocellulose extracted from pineapple waste. We transformed this into a beautiful prosthetic heart valve. And the Brazilian group, and we have lots of patents, and we published this. Also really interested can look at our carbohydrate polymers. This is an exciting material for wound healing applications. You can see our nanocellulose, extremely porous, open wound, and this wound could be closed by this nanocellulose. I wanted to show you some nice work of Sebastian and group. What they did is they made aerogel out of nanocellulose. And then they incorporated antibiotic into this nanocellulose. And you see efficient, slow release of drug into the body. So this could be an excellent platform for the sustained release of antibiotic. Let me show you another slide of Professor Liu and group. Professor Liu and group, you know what they made? They made a composite of nanocellulose and collagen. When you make a composite of nanocellulose and collagen using the aerogel technology, they made beautiful aerogel. Look at the density of the aerogel, 0.02 to 0.03 gram per centimeter cube, and extremely porous. And water absorption capacity is 4,000%. And this is an excellent platform for wound healing applications. So nanocellulose, collagen. Why collagen is added? Because when you have collagen, the tissue compatibility is excellent. So they were very, very successful using this material for cell proliferation, angiogenesis, and cell growth. Let me show you something we have done with nanocellulose. You see, nanocellulose is a beautiful material for strengthening membranes. If you use typical membrane, which is made of PAN or other material, you see the strength of this material is low. This is a typical PAN membrane. Look at this. But if you coat the one side of this PAN membrane, look at the stress strain behavior with nanocellulose. If you coat both sides of this membrane with nanocellulose, look at the stress strain behavior. So what I want to say is, commercial membranes could be strengthened by coating nanocellulose. This is very exciting because many commercial membranes suffer from weak mechanics. So such weak membranes could be strengthened by using nanocellulose. Let me show you something we have made during this pandemic time. We submitted a big proposal under the India-US joint initiative. So what we have made is we designed a new mask to resist coronavirus. Look at this mask. This mask has three layers. The outer layer is made of nylon. The outer layer is made of this is made of polyester, not nylon. This is polyester, but coated with a polyelectrolyte, and it can actually repel coronavirus because this polyelectrolyte is anti-adhesive, hydrophobic, and coronavirus hydrophilic, so it can repel coronavirus. And the middle layer is made of electrospun nylon coated with nanocellulose, chemically modified nanocellulose with a lot of positive charge. And we also introduced some curcumin layer here. So we have electrospun nylon with nanocellulose and curcumin. And the innermost layer of this mask is made of cotton because it's very close to your mouth. So it's an eco-friendly material, cotton. And this is our construction. The inner layer which is chemical free, which is made of cotton. And the middle layer is made of electrospun nylon coated with nanocellulose with a lot of positive charge and some curcumin. The outer layer is made of polyester with a polyelectrolyte coating. So this polyelectrolyte coating can repel all the nanovirus. So all the coronavirus. If at all some coronavirus is getting into this layer, this middle layer, nanocellulose can kill them because nanocellulose has a positive charge and coronavirus has a lipid layer which is negatively charged. So there could be electrostatic interaction. And because of the electrostatic interaction, the outer layer of this coronavirus will be destroyed. So this is our new protocol we have given for the Indo-US project. Let me show you on the slide where we can make beautiful sensors. I will show you a slide from the work of Professor Mann group. What they did is they made a hybrid of nanocellulose and CND together. They mixed nanocellulose and CND, they make hybrids. And then mixed with the natural rubber latex. And eventually they made a beautiful nanocomposite of natural rubber matrix filled with nanocellulose, structural waste, and carbon nanotube. You know the beauty of this? If you look at nanocellulose suspension in water, 0 hour, 24 hours, you see this is extremely stable. After 24 hours, there is no settling down of nanocellulose particles. Look at carbon nanotube. Carbon nanotube in water, if you keep it for 24 hours, all these carbon nanotube particles will settle down. But if you make a hybrid of nanocellulose and CND together in water, look at this. After 24 hours, no settling down. So CND interaction will be suppressed by nanocellulose. And this we found in natural rubber. Look at natural rubber, CND, nanocellulose combination, excellent dispersion of CND. If you just put CND alone in natural rubber, all the CND aggregates. And I can show you another interesting slide. This is the percolation process, conductivity as a function of CND volume fraction in natural rubber. Look at, you get percolation here if you use CND alone after adding 6 volume fraction of CND in natural rubber. But if you use a combination of CND and nanocellulose together, you get a percolation by adding just 1%. See, the percolation should be shifted to lower concentration of CND by combining nanocellulose and CND together. Look at the conductivity performance. Conductivity is, is much better. Look, mechanics is much better. Look at this is neat natural rubber. This is a combination of CND and nanocellulose together. If you use CND alone, you are somewhere over here. Look at the red. So you get lots of synergistic effect when you combine nanocellulose on waste and CND together. This is something very interesting. You get enhanced percolation process. You get very good mechanics. Similarly, you can also use for strain sensing. nanocellulose and CNT in rubber matrix. Look at this is strength sensing followed by looking at the conductivity. You put the mixture in rubber, natural rubber, and you stretch it. Look at this, a combination of nanocellulose and CNT together. You see the resistance increases as you stretch, because when you stretch the rubber, the network is destroyed. That is why you have an increase in resistance. If you combine nanocellulose and CNT together, if you use just CNT alone, you don't get any sensitivity. So this is again a very nice way of making good sensors. Look at the variation of the resistivity changes as a function of stretching cycle. I will skip the slide. You can also make energy storage materials. One of my PhD students, this is a cooperation with Slovenia. One of my PhD students made hybrid structures of nanocellulose and doped graphene oxide. This is actually nanocellulose. This is nanocellulose doped with graphene oxide, nitrogen doping technique. You can see the electron microscopy picture of this doped system. Very interestingly, if you look at the dielectric constant, this is the dielectric constant of neat nanocellulose. Look at the doped structure, the hybrid structures. The dielectric constant has been increased dramatically by doping with modified graphene oxide. So we made beautiful nano construction for hybrid construction for energy storage. Let me also show you maybe a couple of slides. I will wind up. This material is a very good platform for making EMI shielders or electrodes for batteries. I will show you the nice work of Professor Wang and group. Professor Wang and group, you know what they made is, they made aerogel from nanocellulose extracted from waste. You know what they did is, they made aerogel. This is an aerogel made by Professor Wang and group. And then they go for a pyrolysis at high temperature, 900 degrees Celsius. When you go for pyrolysis, you transform everything into carbon. And this carbon is a very beautiful carbon because extremely porous. And Professor Wang and group found that this is an exciting material for anode, for lithium-ion batteries. And this anode is very light because of the porous structure. And the interaction with electrolyte is extremely good because the surface area of this material is extremely high. Therefore, it can interact with electrolyte in the battery. And Professor Wang said it's an excellent electrode, and he's working with different companies to scale it up. My research group, my PhD student Dibu, he has done some exciting work. He extracted nanocellulose from waste. And then what he did is, he did an in situ polymerization of the structure with aniline. Look at this. This is the nanocellulose in combination nylon. We made nanocellulose, we put aniline, and we did in situ polymerization. And eventually what we got beautiful nanocellulose paper. This is a nanocellulose paper manufactured by Dibu and my research group in cooperation with Brazil. Look at the microscopy picture of the internal structure of this paper. This is nanocellulose paper. This is in situ polymerized aniline nanocellulose paper. And I wanted to show you, this is our fabrication setup, very simple setup. We made nanocellulose suspension from waste. We injected aniline with a catalyst, we polymerized it. Then we did a vacuum filtration process. We made beautiful paper. And this is hot pressed. Look at this flexible paper Dibu has made. And this is extremely conductive because we have in situ polymerized aniline on the surface of nanocellulose. Nanocellulose is a very high surface area. As a result of this, we got a conductive paper. This is the internal structure of this conductive paper, the microstructure of this conductive paper. This is neat nanocellulose. And I will show you, this is extremely conductive. Dibu has proven it. This is a very nice conductive material. At the same time, it is flexible. What we have done, we have utilized this material for EMI shielding application, electromagnetic interference shielding application. There are a lot of requirements for EMI shielding. And look at what sort of shielding we got. We got something like 25 or 24 dB if you have a thickness of 1 mm. You have a thickness of 0.75 mm paper, we got 16 dB. So we made conductive, flexible, lightweight EMI shielders using nanocellulose extracted from waste. So this is a mechanism of EMI shielding. This material can absorb all the unwanted energy and transform into heat. Absorption is so high, 87% of absorption. And the reflection is 13%. So all unwanted energy is transformed into heat. My group is also active in utilizing waste from fish industry. So we work with fish waste and we make nanochitin, chitosan materials. And the starting material is seafood waste. And if you look at chitin, chitin is a very interesting material similar to cellulose. And chitin has a very beautiful functionality, NHCOCH3 group. And what we have done is, the extraction is very similar to cellulose. You go for acid washing, and then you remove all the acid. When you do an acid washing, you remove all the protein materials, and you get beautiful nanochitin. This is a very typical standard process. And this nanochitin is an exciting material for water purification. I wanted to show you a very nice work of Professor Yang and group. Professor Yang and group, this is the nanochitin made by Professor Yang and group. And what they did is they made a small chemical modification, to remove arsenic. And their modification was with a cysteine molecule. Look at this. They modified chitin with a cysteine molecule. And when you do such modification, you can remove arsenic from water. So this group was very successful in making chitin from waste, and then they chemically modified. And this was an excellent base for removal of arsenic from water. Let me show you another work of Professor Huang and group. What they did is, they made chitin whiskers, nanochitin. This is the structure of nanochitin. You have hydroxy group, you have NHAC group. And what they did is, by a very simple chemistry, they put lots of hydrophobic groups on the surface of these chitin nanocrystals. These are all hydrophobic groups. If you look at the nanochitin is essentially hydrophobic. So they made the surface hydrophobic by putting hydrophobic groups. When you do that, when you incorporate such hydrophobic groups, alkyl groups on the surface of nanochitin, you can make them hydrophobic. By controlling the chemistry, by controlling the length of this alkyl chain, you can control the hydrophobicity. Look at the nice photograph of the team. This is neat nanochitin, water droplet on the surface of nanochitin. This is hydrophilic. But when you do a chemical treatment by putting hydrophobic groups, alkylic groups on the surface, you can engineer the surfaces. And they could go up to contact angle up to 158.2 degrees. That means they made super hydrophobic material by simple chemistry. And this is a beautiful material for thickening agents in food industry and many applications. Let me show you another work did my group combining nanocellulose and PVDF. So my PhD student, what he did is, he went for electrospinning process of PVDF and nanochitin. And then he used this membrane for the removal of indigo caramin dye from water. I wanted to show you the result. If you use PVDF alone, look at this is PVDF alone. The removal of dye removal is efficiency is 23.3%. But if you combine PVDF with nanochitin, look at the dye removal. The dye removal efficiency is 88.9%. So by incorporating nanochitin into PVDF, electrosmith PVDF system, my research group could make an excellent filter for removing indigo carmine dye from water. My group is also active, maybe a couple of slides on waste starch that we get from agricultural farm. We are not touching any of the food grade starch. We are just touching only the waste that we get from agricultural land. It could be potato starch, it could be rice, it could be tapioca, it could be wheat, cassava, that is tapioca in Kerala. So what we did is we made nanostarch. Again, the process is very simple. Look at the protocol, an acid hydrolysis, acid hydrolysis. If you do an acid hydrolysis, you get nano starch, nano crystals of starch. I will show you a photograph of Professor Alain Dufresne from France, Grenoble. He has made fantastic work extracting nano from agro waste. Probably he's #1 worldwide. And this is some of the nice paper published by Professor Alain Dufresne in Macromolecule. These are the nanocrystals made from potato starch. And what we did is, my research group, a PhD student of mine, what we did is she made nanocrystals from potato waste collected from the agricultural land. We collected the potato waste from agricultural land, and then we made potato starch nanocrystals, put into natural rubber latex. Again, we got from the tree. This is neat natural rubber. The strength is maybe 2 or 3 megapascals. If you put 20% of nano starch, nanocrystal, look at the strength goes to 14 megapascals without sacrificing ductility. Still, the material is extremely ductile, more than 1000% ductile. The modulus goes up. So we were able to make very strong natural rubber nanocomposite material by putting nanocrystals extracted from potato starch waste. And finally, I wanted to conclude that agro waste that you get from the agricultural land could be transformed into functional green nanomaterials. The biggest one is agro waste from lignocellulosic material. We could make excellent nanocellulose and lots of applications in EMI shielding, water purification, healing, energy storage, reinforcing polymers. And nanochitin extracted from the seafood waste, an exciting material for water purification, exciting material for making super hydrophobic surfaces. And nanostarch, again obtained from the agricultural waste, is an exciting material for reinforcing pillar for polymers and packaging material. And finally, my dream is an environment with zero waste. We have to really make a zero waste planet. All the waste will be transformed into value-added material. I thank you very much for your patient hearing. And I would like to thank all my PhD students. They worked very hard in the laboratory. Lali, Vaishak, a series of people, Hannah is listening my talk. Funding agencies, Professor Rao is greatly appreciated, giving us a lot of support. All the funding agencies in India, ISRO, Federal Academy of Sciences, my international collaborators from France, Sweden, Italy, Slovenia, Brazil, DuPont, General Cables, many people supported, Indian companies, and a big group of international collaborators, particularly Daniel Paspini from Brazil, my colleague Carical from India, Fernando Gomes from Brazil. So lots of people actually supported international collaborators. And this is my group in Mahatma Gandhi University, my chemistry group. We had a visit from France, my collaborator, Yves Cohens, and you can see my research group in chemistry. This is me and my PhD students. This is my big group in Nano. Our director of the Nano Center, Nanda Kumar, and you can see we have students from different countries here, from Africa, from Malaysia, from Czechoslovakia. And you are all welcome to this part of the region. I am from Kerala, the southernmost part of India, and you see Kerala became very famous because we could really, prevent the corona pandemic in a very efficient way. And we have 35 million people in Kerala state, very thickly populated part of India, and we have less than 30 people. The death is less than 30 people. So we could control the corona pandemic. So it's internationally recognized the Kerala's a marvelous work in preventing coronavirus. So very welcome to our place. This is some beautiful pictures of Kerala. We have beautiful, canals where you can have boating, the backwaters. We have waterways. We have Mohiniyattam, we have Kathakali, the traditional art of Kerala, and we have very, very old temples. So very welcome to this part of the region. Probably we can have a waste conference in Kottayam after the corona pandemic. So you will have opportunity to visit my place. This is my university, the entrance of the university. You can see our students. This is our chemistry and nanoscience and the science department. In chemistry, we have polymer, organic, inorganic, physical, and polymer technology. And we have a conference coming up, 100 years of macromolecular science. Probably you all know that the macromolecular science, the foundation was laid by Professor Staudinger in Germany. His macromolecular hypothesis, what he proposed in 1920, has become very remarkable. And the macromolecular science has become one of the dominant fields of material science. So to commemorate his contribution, we are celebrating 100 years of macromolecular science. We are going to have an international webinar. So you're all welcome to this webinar. It is 11, 12, and 13 of November in Kottayam. So you're all welcome to this conference and present your paper. And I'm also the editor of Nanostructures and Nano Objects. This is part of this conference. So those who presented paper, please submit your excellent papers to Nanostructures and Nano Objects right now or after a month. And the site score of this journal is now 5.60. So I wanted to build an impact of close to 10. That is my dream. So thank you so much. And I'm looking forward to have some questions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your awesome presentation. So I would like to ask if anyone have any comments or questions, you can please ask Professor Sabu Thomas.
Hello, I have one comment. This is Yoshikawa speaking.
Yes, I can hear you. Can you speak a bit loudly?
Can you speak? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay. So the one of the key pretreatment technology for your process is steam explosion.
Yes.
I found.
Correct.
Yes. So my technology, hydrothermal, is very similar to steam explosion and much easier to scale up.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So for mass production of your nanomaterial, maybe it can be utilized.
Excellent. So I will be very happy to work with you jointly and to try some of our samples. If you have a laboratory scale setup, we can establish some cooperation.
Yeah. So we have a very small, roughly 200 liter pilot scale plant.
Excellent. We can have some JSPS program, and then we can build up a very good cooperation.
Yes. Let's keep it.
Very excited. Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.